for the evaluation contest, Jessica Guthrie. Jessica Guthrie.
I remember, we all remember what happened that day 10 years ago, where we were, who we were with, and what we felt. Mr. Contest Master, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests, and especially Carmelo. Thank you for sharing with us your memories from that day. There were so many great, memorable things about your speech today, and I wanted to point some of those out. First of all, from beginning to end, your speech had wonderful organization to it. Really brought us chronologically through where we were going with the speech. And you started out right with your main thrust. Yesterday was a very special day. And it took us all right back to yesterday, interesting, and then yesterday was a special day because. And I think we're all feeling the September 11th, what's going on in the last 10 years, and especially on the anniversaries, but especially this year. And so by starting that out right away, we knew where you were going, you were wearing the shirt that represented it, we could see where you were going with that. And read that through all the way to the end to don't forget. And I thought that was very well organized. Secondly, posture, fantastic. I don't think I've given an evaluation in the last many years where the person didn't stand when they were at rest with their hands by their side. I know I'm a victim of it. I'm a hand clencher and sit there and do all sorts of nervous things. You were very calm, but then when you were gesturing throughout your speech and using that, and we could see things. We could see Bunky, poor Bunky, through the back of the truck. We could see Bunky. We could see all the different things when you were showing us the towers. We could see that, and so your gestures were very well done too, but when you stopped gesturing, you were very simple and here, and that gave us a chance to hear your message, which was also very important. And then thirdly, you had great use of humor throughout your speech. Bunky, again, very funny. And even though it's a very somber topic, we could certainly see that and we could certainly respond to it. And it helps diffuse some of that tension in the room, and so that was also very well done. I also have a few ideas to help you, hopefully that you can remember to try to use in future speeches to make this even better. First of all, was you had several characters, Bunky, as I've mentioned 3 times already, we remember very well, but you also talked about your wife, Josie, and your kids. I wanted to see more about those characters. You mentioned them in passing, but you did mention them several times. Show us where they are. Are they over here? Are they standing here? This is your wife and this is your daughter, and what the impact was to them and how they were interacting with the speech. And that way you can reference yourself here, but then also talk about your family here. And every time you point over here, we'll think of your family and our families that were impacted by this. So that's an idea for something to try there. The other thing was a little bit more body movement in general. While you were very still and had great gestures, I thought there were some opportunities to use the space a little bit more. And one very specific example was when you were talking about being in the subway and then coming up and seeing the Twin Towers and sitting on the bench and looking at those. Well, sit on the bench, show us. Sit there, sit down on that bench, look up at those towers and tell us what you were feeling. And you can be looking up at those towers while you're doing that. And I think that would add even more and really show us that scene, show us where we are, show us those emotions. And I think that would really help really grow that speech. I thought it was a very memorable speech, and I know hopefully with some additions to these speeches, they'll become even more memorable in the future. Mr. Contest Master.